Before this video begins, I'd like to give a special thank you to the Sentinel clan. The map and the following gameplay along with background green screens was all made and scripted by the Sentinel Forgers and many Sentinel members. If without them, I wouldn't have been able to do this awesome and new style interview that you guys are about to watch. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the new and improved interview series. Welcome to the interview series. My name is DividableHalo HD, and today I am joined by ZMarkAnthony. How are you doing today?
Howdy doodly, neighbor. I'm doing fine.
Alrighty. So ZMark, give us a bit of history about yourself within the clan community or even machinimas in general.
I started on YouTube not necessarily doing Halo content. I mostly did other things on other channels, just trying out video editing, and it was only until like 2015 that I started making clan videos just for the hell of it. I started on Reach in clans, with little ones, not can even remember off the top of my head. The most prominent one I remember I was in on Reach was ACH, UGN, and a tiny bit of Exodus when it was in on Exodus.
Alrighty. So you've been in the clan community for a good amount of time, hey?
I've been in clans at least since Halo 2 PC. I remember the back in the days with TeamSpeak, so I'm a real OG when it comes down to it, you can say.
Alright, let's move on to your Halo 5 history. Just give us a bit of a rundown there and when you started making videos for clans.
I started making videos for clans when I was leading my own clan on Reach called Europa. It was mostly a joint effort between me and my close friends in making a clan, so we thought a good way to recruit members was to make videos. And so I started to test out making machinima and montages, and a lot of it is still up on YouTube on my channel SaborCalor. And we just kept on making more videos, and the clan became more famous for its content than the clan itself. And once that dispersed, I kind of just jumped from clan to clan to clan, wondering what am I going to do, because I'm not necessarily the best when it comes down to military stuff. I wanted to continue on with media, and that's when I joined Exodus under Shaky Divine, and he gave me full control of his YouTube account to make any video for Exodus. And if anyone remembers my comedy videos from Exodus, you know where this is going.
Alright, so one familiar video that we'll run down just for memory lane between you and me was probably How to Vast.
Yeah, that was the most controversial video, at least at the time, that I made, and I had a lot of fun making it. Like I always wanted to make just a commentary about anything in the clan community, and that was like the perfect stream to make something out of. So it was also a big parody of a SpongeBob episode of the Krusty Krab training video. So I thought, meh, might as well put it out there, and the reaction it got was pretty heated.
Indeed. Rest in peace to Party VG. If you guys want to look at that video, link will be down in the description below. Anyways, so let's move on to the more modern era. What are you doing these days?
I'm trying to focus on mostly Sentinel when it comes down to media. I don't want to necessarily focus on machinimas all the time. I want to make other cinematic videos. I also want to make montages. It's just that when you have projects in the beginning, I want to just make sure they're done. I don't want to just keep something on the side and just, let it gather dust. So hopefully after Project Renegade, I'll start making other type videos for Sentinel and just go off from there, and maybe try to experiment with non-clan machinimas and see where that goes.
Alright, so moving back to Project Renegade, right? Let's talk a little bit about that. What is Project Renegade?
Project Renegade was actually something that I made for Exodus at one point. there was a pilot episode for a machinima series that I wanted to make with Exodus, and it was called, I believe, Project Praetorian. And it was mostly a tribute to Craven's, branch at the time. And I wrote down this one script for episode one, and it just stood there for a long time. I even had a voice actor who did the main character's lines and everything. I was ready to do it, and I got at least half of that episode filmed, but the other half I just never got the time to. And then by the time I was able to set up some sessions, Exodus ended. So that script literally sat around, and I actually went to clan trying to sell this script to make into a machinima. I went to UGN at one point, and they actually were greenlighting it, and it was actually going to be a UGN project, but then that got scrapped, and I joined Sentinel. And Saber Fear, knowing my history with media, he was fully on board with making Project Renegade. And I released the first trailer after getting a few voice actors, and the reaction was pretty good. So I went full on with the production of making episode one, and I was very surprised with the reaction some people had gotten, at least in terms of a clan machinima being shared onto a lot of Discord servers and a lot of high profile Halo people in general. At least viewing it was something of an eye opener for me, thinking that, like, wow, this is a clan machinima getting noticed by people.
All right. So moving on to another question, what inspired you to create a machinima such as Project Renegade?
I watch a lot of stuff. I watch a lot of movies, a lot of action, horror, and I especially, other YouTubers as well. My favorite machinima directors are The Spearhead, Ascend, and I believe Dark Metal Spartan, I think that was his name, at least for his SMM videos. And I wanted to kind of get into the machinima community because, I've always been just stuck in the clan community making videos, but I wanted to try to make something that could present to other people. And so, getting back to the old script, I just decided to just put it out there. And actually, a lot of those characters and some of those interactions within Project Renegade are actually based off of D&D sessions I've had with friends outside the clan community. So, in essence, Project Renegade is literally a piece of everything that I favorite of in terms of just storytelling, visuals, anything. I try to put a little piece of it in there and try to make my own type of project in there.
All right, very good. Moving back to Project Renegade and the Sentinel clan, what are the strong connections between both of them?
Well, because Sentinel kind of moves in a bigger pace, a faster pace compared to Project Renegade, it's sort of in the early stages of Sentinel, because the Renegades, I believe, were a branch that was going to be made, and it was in production within Sentinel, but it got stalled, and there were other branches that were created out of that. But I just kind of settled with the Renegades and wanted to work off from there. And there's also connections towards DL within a couple of the episodes, and that was a former ally of ours. So in terms of the lore itself, it's pretty dated. But what I want to try to do with the Sentinel machinimas is try to get them up to date within Sentinel's lore itself, because it actually is semi close to Halo's lore itself. So I actually have some breathing room when it comes down to making side stories relating to the Halo universe without kind of deviating away too much.
Now, what is Sentinel, and how does it relate to Halo lore?
Well, Sentinel is an arms dealer for the Outer Colonies. It was a company that just, at least sold weaponry and, vehicles to the Outer Colonies to fight the UNSC. And eventually it started recruiting people to actually help out these Outer Colonies for hire. And as the Human Covenant War continued on, Sentinel kind of just grew bigger and bigger within the Outer Colonies, and eventually, at least in terms of our lore, where it so much starts deviating away just very slightly from lore, is it starts to become a republic within the Outer Colonies. and it declares war on the UNSC and wants to free the outer colonies from the tyranny that the UNSC has. The quote unquote any stuff that a lot of juicy people like to call it.
All right, and if anyone knows anything about Sentinel, they're always at war with the UNSC, correct?
We're at war with everyone.
Indeed. All right. So moving on, since Sentinel does have a vast lore, what future projects do you have coming up after the creation of Project Renegade? And does it have anything to relate to the Sentinel lore?
Well, I kind of want to have the Sentinel lore in the next few videos I want to make, but I want to focus on the characters more, because as much as there is a lot to work with when it comes down to Sentinel's lore, I want to focus on characters because that's just more of like my thing. Like Sentinel and its lore are basis for these characters to kind of expand upon. I want to develop Raven, who's the main character in Project Renegade, more as a character, flesh her out, as well as Tom and Roger, who are squad mates within Project Renegade. I want to just kind of get people invested in the characters as much as I would get invested into, let's say, like any other D&D character, or let's say a person getting invested in like a UNSC character that they role play in within the community.
All right. Now, is it safe to say that Craven's character would be more developed later on as well?
I will be adding slightly more personality when it comes down to Craven. I was kind of hesitant on showing it, because like Craven is a very, very wonderful character if you know about him, and just throwing it out there at the very beginning would kind of just throw people off. So I kind of want to just inch it in there more. Like there are going to be a few characters that are based off, people within Sentinel, and I will be, showcasing them more. But it's just a process. You can't just, reveal like maybe 15 characters and try to flesh them out all in like a 3-episode like series. You want to focus on like maybe like 2 to 4 characters at most, and I want to kind of establish the original characters for this cinematic universe.
All right, so quick question. How did a character like Craven get into Project Renegade to begin with?
Well, because the original script had him in Project Praetorian, because, again, stating the Praetorians were a branch that he led in Exodus, and the whole idea of the series was to be just based around the Praetorians. So I thought it'd be, a good idea to put Craven in a machinima, because I think I got an idea from, what was it, game, I think it's called Game of Clans by Johnson, I believe, on YouTube, where he started incorporating, just clan people within his machinima. I was like, I could think I can do the same thing myself. And, hanging around the people I knew in Exodus, I was just thinking of like, scenarios of like, how to like present them in like a cinematic way and in like an actual character way, because, everyone has a persona online and you can like write that into something.
All right. So what are your thoughts moving away from Project Renegade on clan community content?
I think it's actually going in a good direction, because you have more people that are trying to branch out to the broader sense of just Halo. Because before, when it comes down to clans, we can all agree that clans get a bad rep when it comes down to the broader sense of Halo in general, because people like to think of clans as these, nerdy type groups where we role play too much, and then we have certain individuals that would go into like, groups and, spout out all this crap, making clans look bad. So when clans do try to make media, it's kind of looked down upon. But there are people out there that are really inspired to do something about it. I will also shout out a guy named Wolf. He is in DA. He's also trying to do machinimas in the very future as well. And he wants to do the same thing like Sentinel, where he wants to expand his clan in a cinematic way to the broader Halo clan community. Not even the Halo clan community, just the broader Halo community. because every clan has a story. Even if you think it's really stupid, if you word it in a way and structure it, you can make a decent story. You can make decent characters out of it. And what I've also noticed is that a lot of people within the clan community are putting more effort when it comes down to videos in general. People putting more effort into montages, commentaries. The clan community is growing up. Like some of these same people that would make the crappy, camera shooting at the TV screen, Halo Reach, Machinima, no scopes, all that stuff. They're growing up with editing softwares. They're learning how to work with it, and some people are actually, expanding upon within the outer Halo community, making content while still having a clan connection in some way.
All right. Now, is there any other channels in particular that you would like to give a reference to?
I mean, there's a lot. I don't want to really, single out a lot of content creators on here because I don't want, people, saying that I'm, trying to shout them out. I think it's best to have, everyone shine on like an equal level. I'm just an average person making this stuff. I'm not going to say I'm like a real big filmmaker or anything like that. I'm just a dude that finds time to make Halo content. So, I would just shout out everyone in this community because it takes some effort to actually take out time to make clan stuff in general.
Alrighty. So moving on to another question. What are your hopes for Halo Infinite in terms of machinima?
Well, I was very impressed with Halo 5 in terms of the machinima controls, getting in a camera in mid-game and just like setting things up, lowering weapons real easily. So I want that in Halo Infinite. Obviously visuals need to get better because Halo 5's visuals are just really hard to work with, and even sometimes working on my own videos, I'm like, I wish this could be better, but I would have to use so much more assets just to make images look better, just because Halo 5's engine is just not good when it comes down to machinima. So I hope that just in terms of lighting, character designs just look better, so that way it's just easier to make a nicer image without going through like 50 different programs just to do it. I also just want another way of like Forge expanding too, making sets bigger, allowing more players into custom games. Like imagine if like you had 32 people in a lobby. You can have expansive battles if you know how to direct it really well. And that's all I can really say so far because the game is so far from right now, and I'm just hoping for the best when it comes down to Halo Infinite because I really want to have a resurgence in the community in general when it comes down to making content because Halo really does need that.
Alrighty, so let's move back to Project Renegade. We're going to do a little bit of questioning on the newest episode that should be premiering soon on the channel. So when is episode, I believe, 3 supposed to be premiere?
Episode 3 is actually very, very close to being completed. It actually is going to be the last episode in the Project Renegade miniseries, but it isn't going to be the end of the characters. It's mostly just like I'm going to go through each, sort of like mini series, but we're using like the same characters. So the last episode of Project Renegade, episode 3, will come out maybe this week, or hell, even like very sooner than that. I will be announcing on like every server when the countdown starts happening for the premiere. I will also be making a full version for when I go to Halo Outpost Discovery. Like as soon as I start doing a panel over there, there will be a full version with all 3 episodes put together in like a mini movie. So that way later on, if anyone wants to just see it fully without seeing it split up, I will also be including, extra dialogue and even deleted scenes in extra videos coming down the line, just in case anyone's interested in that.
Now, this concludes the end of this interview. I'd like to thank you, ZMark, for coming on and giving us a brief description of your machinima, and just everything in general. So, you have the spotlight. Is there anything you'd like to say?
I would just say for those out there that are, very nervous when it comes down to making content, just do it. Just try it out. you're gonna get criticism as soon as you start it, and it's gonna be hard. But eventually, you will get that break out there, and you'll just start, having fun with it. Just remember, it's always just a hobby. Have fun with it, and just do what you want with it. That's all I'll say about that.
All right, thank you very much for joining me on this episode of the interview series that I have going on my channel. If you guys would like, be sure to check out the description down below to check out the Sentinel channel, ZMark's personal channel, and any other channels that I may want to put down below. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. My name is DividableHalo HD, and this is ZMarkAnthony. Have a great day.
Yikes!